So you operated at a period where there was great growth within the women's game to the national team. You mentioned going to Canada and it largely being invisible during the World Cup. Yeah, to the public and really underfunded probably by the union, I think is fair to say. But there was a great growth there. So when you were inside of that systems, what conversations were happening that
Yeah.
to push that growth on? What were people afraid to say, and what was the cost of those conversations not happening?
uh, it's difficult to say now, isn't it? Because there was growth in the game. Um, I think at the time I felt frustrated that perhaps things could have shooted along a little bit quicker. Um, I think there was decisions that were made sometimes at the time that were completely unbelievable to me. So things like that didn't help the growth of the game. So when we were looking at like home venues for Six Nations, one year we were England. One year our home ground was London Irish. Um, the next year our home ground was London Welsh. And I have to say, London Irish are great. Sunbury are great, actually. I loved playing there. And weirdly, it was kind of a bit of a circle moment to me because I played as a mini at their famous tournament, which was great. Um, and their minis tournament, they had to change the certificate to make it young woman and not about young man. But I love that. And then actually, my first game as captain against America, we played there. And the Folkestone girls played the curtain raiser boys. It was like full circle. So I did for personally, for like sentimental reasons, it was lovely playing there. But objectively, I'm like, why are we playing our home games at London Irish? And then we went and played at London Welsh, which was a slightly different experience, which I won't talk about now because I feel that Wales have got enough problems at the moment. All right. So it was just an odd time, and I felt like this is why are we making these decisions? We can play somewhere else. We should be playing at better, more appropriate stadiums. We should be going bigger and filling them, not thwarting ourselves. And I found that very frustrating, when I took over the captaincy, and even things like we'd be involved in like, privy to conversations about how much tickets were going to cost. And like I'm like that we need to make them a bit more expensive. Like we're devaluing ourselves, 5 quid a
Mm.
ticket. I'm like, come on, like I'll pay more to go and watch level four men's or something. Do you know what I mean? I just kind of like, but I shouldn't have been. That shows, that demonstrates the game at that point, doesn't it? That the
Hmm.
fact that I was aware of these conversations going around, we shouldn't really be thinking about that. So I was frustrated at the time, with certain decisions that were made, and whilst you've got to pace yourself, I think there were times when England took a step back. And they definitely did in 2015 after they won the World Cup in 2014. That was a massive step back again. But, we got to a good place in 2025 internationally. So you kind of think, well, perhaps that was, as a bit of a sacrifice or whatever at that point. Um, but I did find myself getting frustrated with some of the decisions that were made, around some of the logistics at that time when I was playing. Absolutely.